Welcome to the world of music. My name is Morton Gould. Today, we are in the heart of New York City on 42nd Street near Times Square. Here in this shop that smells of old wood and glue and varnish, we find a meeting place of the great string players of all time. Stern, Elman, Heifetz, Casals, Milstein, Primrose, and many more. These artists bring their instruments to this second floor to be examined, adjusted, and restored to the same luster and tone as when they were made centuries ago by master craftsmen like Stradivari, Amati, Guarneri. This is the shop of the late Rembert Wurlitzer, world-famous connoisseur, collector, and dealer in rare violins. It is the preeminent establishment of its kind in America and one of the most important in the world. Since his death in the fall of 1963, this shop has continued in the hands of his family, most notably his wife, Lee Wurlitzer.
I must say, Mr. Gould, that the reputation of our shop flourishes because we have so many fine craftsmen. The head of our shop is Simone Fernando Sacconi. He's not only a great master in restoring old instruments, but a great master in creating new ones. He uses exactly the same tools and techniques that the great Antonio Stradivari used over 200 years ago. And now, Mr. Gould, I would like to leave you in the hands of Maestro Sacconi.
How do you do, sir?
I do, Mr. Gould. A pleasure to have you here.
To meet you, and it's a pleasure for me to be here, and I look forward to this tour with you so that you can show us just what you do. What is the first step?
Well, first step to make a violin, I think you must have the right kind of wood. This is not simple things because we want to have the best, and we try to procure our wood at the same place, the same source of Stradivarius. Now, for example, we start with to cut the top. This is spruce. This is a log just comes from those mounds there in Italy. And precisely, there are those group of mounds they call the Dolomites, you know, this beautiful place. And really, the region is called the Cadore. It's where it comes this marvelous wood for acoustic. Doesn't come better than this. By the way, the name of this wood, it's Picea Celsa. They call also in America, they call the same way in Latin. Also it's called the red spruce. So we must start to make a top out of this. So you can see that we cut, we split. You see, we split in this way. You see, we split and we make two pieces like this, which then we glue together in the way that the same pattern of grain we have on both sides.
So that they match.
This is to have the maximum of perfection of vibration of the top. See? And then, of course, now here you must start to make the mold. The mold is just it's about the outline of a violin. And this mold is, you don't draw like this, that comes from a drawing that we could retrace. This, it's how Stradivari used to draw his, geometrically its mold. This we find out like that. And it comes just perfect. Mm-hmm. Yes.
These are the same dimensions?
Yeah, the same thing, the same comes all the same. Now, like I say, now the first step here is to put those blocks here. They are glued lightly with only a drop of glue there, you see? And then you shape those corners and you glue those line in there, those lining in there. By the way, look how Stradivari, with what simplicity he used to glue those.
What's that, a clamp?
No, this is
like-
supposed to be a clamp.
Yes. Maestro, how do you keep the curves from splitting the wood?
Well, this, first of all, the wood on this side is very thin. It's about a 32nd of an inch thick. Then it's bended with this bending iron here. It's bended and then put in there and glued. For that it doesn't split in this way. You see? Now there is the time to, let's say, to take the top that we glued like this, you see, and put in there, present just in there, and we trace all the outline, and we apportion the edge. So then we cut
You cut the tracing.
roughly. It's not the finished cut. Then you will see that later comes the finished cut. So after this, it will be, this is a viola, by the way, it's the same thing. You see, we rough it down, we give it the arch in this way.
Now, how do you do that?
Yeah, this is carved, you see. With
Oh, that's carved?
Yes, with the big gouges. You see, with those big gouges, just you rough it down, then you finish it up with those little plane. Then you with a scraper. Yeah, you finish up with a scraper.
I always
And,
thought that was warped.
No, this is carved all the time. You see, then comes the time that you must empty this. So you empty and you start to give a certain thickness, but not the finished thickness. Now, after that is shaved inside, you must trace the F-holes. And this is the way that Stradivari used to design its F-holes. Now, he had a pattern like this, which he fixed up the place of those holes in there, and then with this template, I used to trace, and then by hand, you carved out the rest.
And all these F-holes are according to the particular instrument, right?
Every
They all have different
violin
terms.
has a different way of putting this, according to the arching. Oh, by the way, those arching, they are very important for the tone. Because you see, the vibration of the tap happening this way. Now, those arching, they must run in the way that nothing is it's on the way for this free vibration. That is very ticklish things to do. See,
In other words, it has a movement of its own in a way.
of course,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's very easy. Should vibrate easily with the minimum of the touch of the things. Then, of course, after the F-holes, everything, now we must tune it up.
You must tune it.
Yes, you tune it up. Now, the tune that comes out after you shave, that is the strength of the tap.
I see.
That means now you must achieve, I would say, a D sharp on the top of the violin.
You mean a definite pitch?
The definite pitch should be the
Definite
D
pitch.
sharp. So we shave and we now it's not yet this the tone.
You mean it's still out of tune?
It's still out of tune. It's not a D sharp. But eventually it will have, after that we have cut the folds and shaved the thing. Then now comes, of course, also the air spacing that is on the instrument. You see, this is the viola. The air spacing has a lot to do. It's just combined with the thickness and the arch of the tap. Now, after the tap, it's finished. Everything is in place. You must fit and glue the bass bar. You see, the bass bar is a piece of spruce that runs parallel to the G strings here.
I see.
It's just nearly under the foot of the bridge on this side. This the bar is just the purpose of the bar is to reinforce the lower register
I
of
see.
the
Does that
instrument,
always
of
go in
the-
precisely the same place? It does
No.
that also
No, goes according the shape
according
of
to
the,
shape?
instrument.
Uh-huh.
In other words, it's parallel to the axe of the instrument. And this vary in every instrument. Each instrument is a different. That is a very important thing to do.
I see.
Now, then after the bass bar is glued, you shave it down. You see, I mark just to show you. Just it will be about this.
Mhm.
But even here, now you must tune it up again.
I see.
Now with the bar,
With-
you must achieve the F sharp. Now the F sharp would be the tone of the back after it's finished. In the way that those two notes of the top, they being the same, they don't conflict
Oh, in
their
other words,
vibration.
They must be compatible to each
That's
other.
it.
Ah, I see.
See, they work at unison,
Mhm.
and everything it works all right in this way. And these are just with all those instruments when we analyze of Stradivari, I think hundreds we had in our hands here. And just we found out that that is the procedure.
Now, the back is finished?
Yeah, the back is
And the
finished.
front.
Oh,
Now-
by the way, the back is not, you see, the top being all even. The back instead has a various thickness because the back is another function than the top.
Well, now, can we put these parts together now?
Well, I think we are ready to put it together. That you can see here this viola. Now suppose that this viola is finished up like this top of the violin, and the back also is finished up. Everything. Then we glue. The first we glue the back, but before don't forget to take away the mold here. And the mold is easy things to do. You see, you tap here with a little hammer. You tap in there, you unglue those things, and the mold is free. So then, you see those are lying in here. They will reinforce the sides when they are glued on the back and the top.
I understand.
So after that, then you glue the top, the end, and then you have your box is nice and close. Now is the time to put the purfling.
Purfling?
Yeah,
What is
purfling.
that?
Well, now the purfling, you see, it's an inlay of 3 branches of wood, 1 white and 2 dyed wood. It's inlaid for about 30 seconds in there. Now, this purfling, being a decorative thing, is also it's very important because it reinforces this very fragile part, especially down here, up here, you see. And Stradivari in this inlaid things, he was a master. He used to do beautiful things on carving, and not only he made those ones that were the usual with only one purfling. Now we know 2 beautiful instruments inlaid by him. He made quite a few of those ones, not too many though, about 10 I would say, and they are inlaid with ivory, and the sides are all design of floral design, the exquisite form. By the way, I'm finishing a copy I made of the Lee.
You're doing a copy of
Yeah.
I see.
You
May
like
I
to
see one? Yes.
Here it is. Look.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Now you
That
see.
is, yes.
You see this. The violin is made is the same like the usual one.
Yes.
Only.
How do they do this? How do
This
you
you
do
see
this?
has 2 rows of purfling. Then those diamond and circle of ivory. They are glued it in there and then fill it up with ebony compound. Yeah, I think it would sound too.
Yes, I was going to ask, does it sound good?
I think so. So now, wait a minute, it's not finished the violin. We must make it a
Yes,
neck.
yes, now we must get back to the
Yeah,
violin that
otherwise
we're working on.
you can play on it. Now, here Luigi was making a scroll, you see. The scroll is made out of a solid block of maple. This is maple also. Look how beautiful this thing. It's marvelous. Here, this, you see, was cut from there. This was his piece. And first, what you do, just you cut the contour, and then you started to shave it down around like this with the help of this device here. Now, this is copied from one of the Stradivari's design. You see, today, many violin makers...
Oh, I see, this is an actual
yes,
design.
yes. Now, they used to use a pamphlet just to speed the work, but we don't do like that. We do like a Stradivari did. That means, now you can see, to mark the width of the peg box, you see, you go with the... You get all those value thickness, and you report in here. And still, those markings that you see, those holes, you can see on the Stradivari's instrument. Also the other maker, yes. Because everybody was doing it with the same system. So when the neck is made, of course, you put on the violin. And here is a finished one. By the way, this Luigi made, is his last violin that he made. See, with the neck on. This is ready for
now it's all
for
put
varnish.
together.
Yeah,
this
it's
is ready
put
for
together.
varnish?
Yes, but now I tell you, as soon as you make the violin, you don't varnish right away. The best is to hang it in there for at least 1 year is the best.
You hang it where?
Yeah, on the light, on the, see, in the way that everything, the gluing, the thing, you see, they make all the movement that the wood you got to do previous to the varnish.
So that would be very dependent on weather then, wouldn't it?
Well, of course. The
different climates would affect the drying out process.
Now, the varnish also, it's very ticklish things to do. And also, you need a good weather. Even we know letter from Stradivari that he was complaining to the customer that he couldn't deliver first the instrument because they say he didn't have too much sun, or he had too much, or he was damp, or all those things.
You mean even he had excuses?
Yeah. Oh, then another thing. Now, you must finish it up. Yes. Don't forget we stop with the scraper.
Yeah.
Now you must smooth it down the things, and we don't use a sandpaper.
Oh, you don't?
No.
What do you use?
No. Stradivari didn't have a sandpaper.
I was going to ask what.
No.
You used what he did, I assume.
Now, look, this is the stuff what he used. First, you see, he used some shark skin. Feel it, the rough.
Oh, that is rough. Yes.
Well, but this is not used outside. Only inside, just to finish it up or something. But for the outside, he used this kind of. It's a reed. It's an herb. This one, you see, I drew it for you one thing. It's something like this. It grows near the marsh, near the stream, you see. And it's called, I think in English, they say horsetail, cattail.
Oh, yes, cattail.
Yeah,
oh, is this
but
that
the
family?
real universal name in Latin is Equisetum selvaticum.
Sounds much more imposing that way.
Yes, it is. By the way, why is so good? Now you see this reed here. It's wood inside. Let's say is empty, but outside the bark, it's a silicon-like. It has like thousands of cutting knife. Now look, you can see with the lens.
Oh yes,
look,
yes.
You
it's
see?
ridged. Yes.
Yeah, you see all those. So this it makes a very nice, smooth finishing.
Now then, After this is all done, now are you ready for the varnish?
Well, yes, now, yeah, we are ready
Well,
for
the
the
reason
varnish.
I keep asking about varnish is, as you know, to most people who are not in the profession, the whole idea of varnish in relation to violins is a mystery. The supposed story that the great violin makers of the past had secret formulas, etc.
Yes, well, the chemistry put it aside, because everything is under nature. Like, for example, the gum, the rosin, we go to pick up ourselves in the country. The oil,
You make that all yourself?
we extract our oils, and even, listen this, home I have a vineyard, a grape wines, which when after the harvesting, I cut, I prune, and I collect the cutting. So I boil, I burn first, of course. Then I boil the ashes, and the water deposit the most marvelous alkali that way, which I need to develop colors on the vegetal colors.
I see. So you really do what we call a make-it-yourself varnish.
That's it.
Right from the grape.
Yeah.
Well, certainly I never knew anything like that, really was done that way. Now, this is all to protect the wood?
Well, I want to tell you this first, that now is a secret, these things that we know. There are only 3 people that they know
Really?
this.
But you won't tell us the secret,
Well,
will you?
no. Well, I tell you this. I developed this. Then another who knew, for Mr. Wurlitzer, that he was an amateur. He would know. I told him, because I was very much interested in such things. And another who knows something about, it's Dario, that he would be my successor, and he liked also very much the instrument.
How does the varnish have to do with the tone too?
Well, now, now I tell you one thing, why it has something to do with the tone. About 100 years ago, there were makers that they tried to copy Stradivarius. Just, they went very close. I mean, it wouldn't have been too much difference, let's say, with a little deviation. But because they didn't have that varnish, the tone was not the same.
It wasn't?
No.
I see.
Because if those instruments, they had that varnish, today we could have maybe a few more Stradivarius.
Now that we have the varnish, how close are we to the finished violin?
Well, finish the violin, I tell you, you must handle this violin. So the varnish you must keep it there, wait till it gets, till that you can handle, you can touch the instrument, because I think it pass about a month. It will be necessary to start to handle the instrument. Then this is the time that we got to put the fingerboard, we fit the pegs, and now is the time to put the sun post. You see, the sun post is, is inside here. Give me sun post here. You see, it's a dowel of spruce that is fitted to the top and the back, just the back of the bridge here. And that transmits the vibration of the top to the back. Now it's time to put the strings. So you put the button here, the tailpiece strings, that they go here, the pegs, and tune it up, and pray that the violin sounds good.
Do you use your own strings?
No, the strings, no. Maybe it's the only thing we don't use.
I thought maybe you grew your own
No,
strings.
even Stradivari didn't make his own. Yeah, we know that, by the way, there in the museum in Stradivari in Cremona, there is a sample of strings that himself, he said, this is the sample of the strings for the viola. But they must be made. Badalba is a town near Cremona.
Oh, I see.
So that means he didn't make himself.
I see. Well, Maestro, you know, I must ask you a question now that's a little bit extra musical. What is this upsweep doing among all these masculine haircuts?
This young lady is Marianne Wurlitzer, the daughter of Rembert Wurlitzer. And
Hello.
she's the new addition to this firm.
I see. Well, could you answer me a question or two? You're obviously learning how to make violins. Have you always been interested in this, or was this a development after your father's passing?
Well, I've always been interested in business,
I
and
mean, I suppose you grew up with it.
I've been down in the shop since I was a little girl. Yes. I can say that my whole life has gone into making this decision.
How much time do you intend to spend on this?
Here at the bench?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can only say that I have to learn as much about all aspects of instruments, the business and instrument making.
With Mr. Sacconi?
Well, all aspects of the business, but as far as this goes, that's Mr. Sacconi's decision.
Well, that should take a long time after all I've seen here.
I think it'll take the rest of my life.
Well, nice seeing you, and lots of luck to you, and I'm sure that you will enjoy what you're doing. You look as if you're enjoying it. Happy violin making.
And so,
Nice
Mr.
job.
Gould, I think that we have given you a day at the Wurlitzer shop, and you'll see what is going on here.
Well, thank you, Maestro Sacconi. Thank you for welcoming
Thank you.
us here and for allowing us to be with you and observe what you and your co-workers are doing. We've watched the inner workings of an ancient, honored, and somewhat esoteric art that has remained unchanged since its inception centuries ago. It's really been a pleasure to be here. Many, many thanks.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, really, to have you here.
We have been visiting the workrooms of the Rembert Wurlitzer firm in the heart of New York City. In a sense, you have traveled back in time and seen one of the basic foundations of the world of music. Our thanks to Maestro Sacconi and his staff, and to Mrs. Rembert Wurlitzer, whose gracious cooperation has made our program possible. This is Morton Gould. Thank you for joining me.
This is NET, the National Educational Television Network.